Hello everybody. So this video is going to be about creating, opening, saving, and publishing your documents in Photoshop. So to start out with, let's say you do not have a project started at all yet. From here, what you can actually do is whenever you're in the main interface when you first bring up Photoshop, you can either do File New or you can just Create New. Photoshop offers us several different types of projects that can be utilized. So you can see here, for instance, you have photo, print, art, web, mobile, and film. Depending on what type of platform you are designing for, can play a role in which of these types of file types you will be working with. If you click on any of these tabs here, you'll see that you already have some predefined sizes for you to work in here. Just like here you have art and illustration, film and video, you see the different types of TV resolutions there. Or if you want to, and oftentimes what you may find yourself doing is you may actually come over to this side panel here where you have the preset details and you'll actually set that up there. So maybe I changed the name from Untitled to Project 1. I can also change too as far as what is my measurement system. Personally, I normally use either inches or pixels, depending on if I'm working for print or if I'm working for web game design. So if I change over to pixels here, you can see that the number jumps much higher here. Also too, you can see a resolution of how many pixels per the inch you are working with. Honestly, in this day and age, for at least television, web, things along those lines, anything that's going to be displayed on a monitor, staying in the 300 to 600 range, you're probably safe. You can drop all the way down to 72 ppi if needed. The color mode for right now, I would just leave this at the default. You can go all the way up to 32-bit color. Again, your file's going to get a little bit larger there. The other thing I'd like to draw your attention to, though, at least for this class, is your background contents. By default, Photoshop is going to want to put some sort of background in place. If you know that you are going to want to have more of a cutout design, for example, a logo, you can click on this drop down here. You can actually come and choose transparent, which I'll do for demonstration purposes so you can see it. Once you've done that, we can go ahead and say create. And here now you can see the project that is opened here. Now, the way that Photoshop, as a side note, will demonstrate certain types of transparency is through this checkered background. So that's how you create a file. But what if you want to save a file? To save a file while you're working, you can go up to File, Save if you have made changes to the document, which we have not, and that's why this is grayed out, or Save As. You can choose where you want to save. I would encourage you to save on your local computer. Then you can come in and you can change as far as what type of document you'd like to save it as. You can change the file name. So for instance here, I'm going to move it to my desktop, leave it as that working file type there, that PSD, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Maximize compatibility, I would leave this on so that in case you ever find yourself in a previous version of Adobe Photoshop, you will be able to open your file there. So I'm just going to say okay. That does add some size to your overall project though. Lastly is when you are ready or you have designed something that you would like to publish. So for demonstration's sake, I am actually in my shape tool here. So what I'm going to do real quick is just grab a tree and draw a tree. So let's say that you have just designed something here and now you want to actually go through the publication process. To publish into a JPEG, GIF, or PNG, you go to File and Export. And really these two options up at the top are going to be your biggies here. You can either do a quick export as a PNG or you can choose Export As. Export As, you will get this whole pop-up here where you can actually come over to your file setting types and you can change which file type you would like to save this as. You can also alter as far as your image size here, the scale of the image, what is the canvas size. Also too, you can change as far as adding in copyright and contact metadata if you want to. Once you have the file the way you want it, you can just click Export. You're going to get another pop-up window that's going to ask you where do you want to save this. Normally, Photoshop, what it will try to do is where the working file type is contained, it is going to try to put that published file in that same location there. So if I go ahead and hit Save, and now I navigate out, you can see both the Project 1 PSD and the Project 1 published JPEG are in the same location.